This is Around Town with Tanika, the Red Chair Edition. Hey y'all, it's your girl Tanika with Tanika Donnell Realty, and on this edition of Around Town with Tanika, the Red Chair Edition, I'm so honored. Today I have President and CEO Karen Hughes of Vogel Alcove. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm just honored because we have a nonprofit, TDR Cares, and we are always seeking other amazing nonprofit organizations, and Vogel Alcove is one that we've supported this year. Thank you again for the opportunity for us to do that.
Well, thank you so much for what y'all have done for us.
Now, you're a nonprofit daycare and preschool for homeless
Correct.
Individuals. And how did that get started?
Well, it actually started in the Jewish faith. There
Really?
was a woman in at Temple or Sheriff Israel in Dallas, and she was part of the Social Action Committee, and they wanted to do something for the homeless.
Okay.
And then she reached out to her friend at Temple Emmanuel in Dallas, and she was head of the Social Action Committee there. They joined forces,
Okay.
and what they eventually created was the Dallas Jewish Coalition for the Homeless,
Wow.
which was 28 different Jewish organizations. And they began to divide up into committees, and one of the committees was the child care committee, and they went out into the community to look to see what was the need for their first project.
Sure.
And what they found was that there was nothing for the little ones.
Oh, wow.
That if there was not child care available for the moms, then they couldn't work with the moms to be
Exactly.
stable. And so they started Vogel Alcove literally 35 years ago. We're about to celebrate our 35th anniversary this year.
That is amazing.
And they started in an alcove in the downtown family shelter.
Okay.
With 10 kids, and then
10.
we've grown. They've been in 3 different buildings since then, and now we serve over 200 kids a year.
A year. Now, how did you get involved with the organization?
Well, I was recruited. I was in D.C.
Really?
Actually.
Okay.
And working at a nonprofit there as the president and CEO. It was not with homeless. It was with low-income kids with school age and early childhood. And then the real story is my husband and I adopted a little boy from Ethiopia.
Wow.
And once Noah came, I knew I wanted to come back home to Texas.
Sure.
To raise him. So
How old's Noah now?
He's 14.
Really?
And
Okay.
so when they did a national search looking for a CEO and found me there, and I was ready to come home. So
I love
it was a good match.
Now, with the children, with the kids, what kind of programs do you all have in place at the daycare?
Well, we have the first thing, our early childhood program is our flagship. That's what we started with. And so we're open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And so the children who come to us must be homeless when they first arrive.
Okay.
So that means they're living in an emergency shelter, a transitional housing program, domestic violence shelter. But they could also be doubled up or living day to day in a motel.
Sure.
That's considered homeless under McKinney-Vento Act.
Okay.
And so they are homeless when they first come. And so, but then once they begin to work, we begin to work with the family, and they become more stable. Some get to move into housing, but they can still stay with us
That's
till
fantastic.
they go to kindergarten. And
Wonderful.
so the kids are, usually it's about 50-50, that half are virtually homeless and half are actually recovering from being homeless at any one time. But our early childhood program is unique in that the kids that we're dealing with are kids in trauma.
Sure.
And because of the trauma that they're facing at this early age, brain development will tell you that the first 3 years of life are critical. And if you can literally change the child's life in the first 3 years, you'll change their life forever.
Entire life, that's right.
And so we have a ticking clock, if you will, and but we have the opportunity to really change what's happening in their lives with their brain development, because again, they're involved in toxic stress, and that doesn't make the brain grow correctly. And so we also do assessments, and we provide speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy on site. We also have a special curriculum that we do in the classroom that's for social emotional development.
Wow.
And
that's robust.
And so that's, and we do chess classes, yoga classes. They go across the street to Dallas Heritage Village. So there's a lot of enrichment things that
Mind,
we have
body,
for them.
spirit, everything.
Exactly. And so that's our early childhood program. And then we have a health clinic on site with a pediatric nurse practitioner on site. And then we have a mental health program, which we started about 2 years ago. And so a lot of our moms most of our families are headed by single moms.
Okay.
And then most people don't realize that, but the average homeless person in the country is a 20-year-old mom with 2 kids.
What an amazing statistic.
And so most of our moms, 95% of our families are headed by single moms. And so again, if you've got kids and other things, and you're trying to work or go to school, and you still have got your own mental health issues, you don't take time for that. So we've actually brought that in-house. And so we have about 40 moms right now that are in weekly therapy with a mental health therapist. And then we also have a children's therapy program. So we have a play therapy room. We have a sensory lab for kids that are on the spectrum or having sensory issues. And then we have 2 child therapists that work with them and then work in the classrooms with the teachers as well as the parents for those children that really have some major behavior problems due to the stress that they're under. And then we believe strongly in the 2-generational approach.
Okay.
If we want to make the change for those children, and our really goal is that these children that we're dealing with will not be homeless when they're adults. But if we really want to make that difference, we've got to also work with the families. So we believe in the 2-generational approach. So we believe that if we work with the families as well, then we can help that family get out of poverty and break that cycle. So we have a family support division, and I have 5 master level social workers that are on site that work individually with the moms, and so they work with them wherever they are and what's their next step, and that's different from every single mom. Some of our moms that come to us are dealing with addiction, or some are just coming out of a domestic violence situation, or some are dealing with the fact that they just lost their job and lost their house, or whatever it may be. So everybody's at a different place. And so they work with them on just taking the next step, what that is to get their family towards stability. We have a resource room on site that's done by the donations by the Dallas community. So we have coats and hats and diapers. We go through about 5,000 diapers a month. So all those things that a mom needs, we have in the resource center. And then we have our Parent Opportunity Center on the 3rd floor. And in the Parent Opportunity Center, we have what we call job ready training. So in the evenings we do GED and ESL training for the staff, for the parents that need it. And then we also do interview skills and resume writing and helping them look for a job. We also do career ready training, because a lot of our moms, they might have a job, but they'll never get out of poverty with that type of job. So like even during the pandemic, we had 3 moms that got their their bachelor's degrees.
That's phenomenal.
And then we do what we call support networking. One of the number 1 reasons for family homelessness is that life incidences happen, but there was no support system. You know, and I always tell the story, if my house was on fire and I ran out in the front yard, made sure everybody was safe, I can pull out my phone, and in 15 minutes I can have a bunch of people there to help me. Our moms don't have anybody to call. And so they don't have a support system, whether it's their family or other people, and the people that they do know, their house is on fire too. So so what we help them do is learn about the community resources to develop that support system that they need. We also provide small grants, because sometimes it just takes a little bit of money to keep somebody moving forward. So like we had a mom that called and said, well, I'm going to quit my job because my car won't work. Well, we sent out a mobile mechanic, and for $8.32 he found what was wrong, and the mom could keep the job and whatever. Or I'm not going to take this job because they said I had to buy uniforms. I can buy uniforms, you know. So just little bits of money, and especially during the pandemic, trying to keep people paying rent, or if they get an apartment, to be able to pay the deposit for them, or those kind of things. And so that's really what we do. And so that's all of our programs. So we kind of wrap it up in a bow and say that we rewire brains, that's our early childhood, we repair hearts, which is our mental health program, and we restore families, which is our family support.
That's a lot. I mean, I think that's phenomenal. I really do. And I'm so excited to hear all the different ways, not just from the child aspect, but from the parents as well, who are supporting the kids.
Exactly.
How can others get involved? Are there ways to serve? Are there ways to contribute to
Certainly.
the cause?
So yes, so we certainly need donations. We have a $6 million budget that we raise every year. So individual donations from the community are very important. And so you can make a donation by going to our website, www.vogel.org. And you can also consider being a recurring donor. So just for a little bit a month, you can be part of what we call our flight program.
Okay.
But we also need volunteers. So we're just now getting back to including volunteers after the pandemic, but we are accepting volunteers. So there's a lot of different opportunities for volunteering.
Such as what? Give us some examples.
So some people go through the training and they say, well, I'm going to come every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. And so they're put in a classroom, and that's their classroom. And so they come back, they get to know the kids and work with the teachers, and they're like an assistant in the classroom. But some people can't make that commitment. And so they do the training, but they come down, and then we just place them wherever we may need. We also have what we call birthday buddies, and so we give every child a birthday on their birthday, so people can adopt a classroom and help with the birthday parties. Or we have a wonderful outdoor environment. Our gardens, we have sensory garden, a vegetable garden, and a wildlife garden in the back.
How fun is that for the kids?
So a lot of people, that takes a lot of maintenance and whatever, so we have a lot of groups that come out, or people that come out that like to do gardening, and they help in the backyard, it's what we call it. So there's a lot of different ways, but we also need donations. And
are we saying clothing, diapers?
Yeah, clothing. Well, right now we don't need as many diapers. We just got a huge donation from Kimberly Clark, which I'm so happy about. But we do need all kinds of seasonal clothes, coats, jackets,
socks, shoes.
Right. But right now we're setting up for our holiday store. So our biggest need right now are new toys.
New toys.
For kids like infants, toddlers, preschool, even school age, and the older middle school kids. A lot of times people like to go buy the fun little baby things, but it's hard to buy for a 13-year-old boy. But our families have that. So in December, second week in December, we'll be setting up what we call the holiday store. And we fill our gym with all these donated toys, and we call it a store, but the mothers don't pay, but we want them to choose their toys for their families. We put them in big black bags so they can take them home, and then they can give them for Christmas themselves. Phenomenal. So we're taking donations right now. We're in holiday store mode right now, taking donations for toys.
Wonderful. So if someone wanted to donate, would we just come to your location or call, or what's the best way to contact?
Yes, if you want to donate, you can go online at the website, but you can, if you want to make a donation, you can call us and let us know you're coming. And if you don't even want to come in, you can literally pull up in our parking lot. We're at 1738 Gano Street, which is just south of downtown Dallas in the Cedars neighborhood. And you can just pull up in our parking lot, and our security guard will help take the things out of your car, and so you can just drop off at the front door if you'd like.
Fantastic. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers before we go? Because you've been insightful, and I am so elated to hear all the wonderful things that you're doing for the community.
I would just say that this is Homeless Awareness Week, actually.
Is it?
And so one of the things that I always try to make people aware of, when people hear the word homeless, the first image that their brain gives them is the image of a person standing on the sidewalk with the cardboard sign, or living in a tent under a freeway. Very rarely does your brain send you the message of the face of an infant, a toddler, and a preschool kid.
Very true.
And so many people really don't ever put together children and homeless. And there are over 4,000 children in the Dallas area that are homeless on any given night. And so just to shine that light on that there are kids and families that are homeless, they tend to be hidden in the community. So it's important that, especially during this special week, that we make people realize that family homeless is one of the largest growing segments of the homeless population in the country.
Wow, we need to know about this every day. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Again, would you share with them with your contact information one more time so that they have it?
Well, so the way you can contact us is go to our website, www.vogelalcove.org, and that's VOGELALCOVE.org. Our address is 1738 Gano in Dallas, or our phone number is 214-368-8686.
All right, guys. Thanks so much,
Well, thank you
Karen.
so
I
much.
appreciate you again. As always, guys, we're going to bring you content and trailblazers in the area. So Karen Hughes definitely is one, president and CEO of Vogel Alcove. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Everybody have a blessed and amazing day.
Thank you.